Now, what are the other things you need to be aware of? Well, gold is usually tax-free in most countries in the world. There's no way that governments would levy tax on gold. They simply haven't got the right. They shouldn't. It's been around since longer than any government has ever existed. However, in most cases where there is a sophisticated taxation system already in place as a millstone around the people's neck, usually capital gains is payable. Usually. Please check with your accountant. But silver in many countries actually attracts value-added tax or a similar type of tax. This is because silver is also an industrial metal. Gold does not really have as much industrial use, except for a few semiconductors and mobile phones and filling in teeth. It doesn't really have as much physical application. Gold is preferred by banks, and to make sure that banks don't get taxed, gold is VAT free or tax free, in fact. That's a favor to them, not to the public. But silver is taxed because banks couldn't care less, and that's where the governments get to make yet more money out of its own people. Now, gold and silver are both property according to most laws, specifically the English common law, which is very common amongst the English-speaking countries. So both gold and silver, therefore, being physical property at par with land or real estate, makes a brilliant inheritance device. Because you see, you couldn't sell your house brick by brick, but you can sell gold gram by gram. And yet you can pass it on to the next generation as a real physical asset, something where a little bit of gold today could potentially pay off the university fees 20 years down the line. Now, gold and silver both do not fall under any securities regulations anywhere in the world. They are not securities. They are not stocks, shares, bonds, or any of these things, financial instruments made up for sake of bankers and brokers' commissions. So, because they are not captured under securities regulation, anybody is free to recommend gold and silver as part of a diversified portfolio of assets. Nobody is required anywhere in the world to have a license or any financial recommendation or qualification in order to make a recommendation to buy gold and silver. This is a huge advantage because one doesn't have to start giving financial advice. You just simply say, would you like to have some gold and silver? You need to, because it is going to protect you against all the crooks in government and the financial services world. Once you have done that, you have absolutely no obligation to report to anybody that you've given people a recommendation to buy gold and silver, because it is simply not captured by securities regulation. This is why gold and silver is one of the most free commodities on the planet that you are able to recommend, and yet it is a type of money, and it is an original form of money, and even a type of a financial instrument used for inheritance and various other purposes. Please watch the next video.